was working in construction as a supervisor. I did that for a while, and then I got into this around like 2014. So towards the beginning, and yeah, I've been doing that ever since. Been doing it ever since, full time. I do private jobs as well. You know, Uber and Lyft, they take the bulk of my time up, but you know, after COVID, I've been a little bit more like, I put in way more hours, like more than 40, at least 40 hours a week, but sometimes more than 40.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely full time.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned that you have your own private clients. You obviously drive livery and
Yes.
Massport and all that, right?
Massport livery, you know, deal with the whole airport, you know, the good and the bad that we see there, but yeah.
Would you share how much you average per hour? Did you ever do those calculations?
It depends. Honestly, it depends if there's private jobs involved for the day, if there isn't, if there aren't. It just depends on the day. You know, some days are better than others. It's average per hour. It honestly depends. Some hours could be $30 an hour. Some hours could be a little less. For the most part, I like to work when it's busy, so it's usually more than like about $30 an hour. Sometimes it could be $50 an hour. Like, it depends. It all depends on, like, you know, it depends on the day. It depends on how busy it is. It depends if there's a sports game going on or, you know, concert in the city.
For sure.
And, you know, I like to work suburbs as well because sometimes the city is too congested. So I'll hit the suburbs as well.
Sure,
Like, you
sure.
know.
Sounds good. And are those earnings, would you say that those earnings are sufficient for you to support the, you know, family and lifestyle?
Honestly, it depends. Typically throughout the whole year, yes. Around December, January, February, no. If you don't have any money saved up, then, you know, but by now, I've already learned my lesson. I've gone through times when it's like, you know, it'll be like January and I'm like, whoa, there's no requests. No one's in town for business, for private jobs. So it gets tough, very tough. It's not only cold weather-wise, it's also cold in your pockets as well.
For sure.
Which is true.
I love how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, what is it that you enjoy the most about this, doing this work?
What I enjoy the most, I mean, I like the freedom. I can take trips whenever I want, which is great because I travel a lot. But I also like getting to know people. I'm a people person. I love that. I love talking to people. I mean, you know, you talk to me for 20 minutes and, you know, you'll end up telling me your whole life story. And, you know, I'll have a rider for 10 minutes and I already know, you know, I know their dog's name and everything. That's how easy it is, you know.
Yeah, you do have that personality for sure.
Yeah, it just comes natural, honestly, like, you know. So I love that. I love the fact, you know, I get to meet people from all over. I've met CEOs of companies. I've met basketball players. I've met NFL players. Like, I've also met just regular people that work at Starbucks. And, you know, I treat everyone the same. No one gets treated better than the last person. I treat everyone the same with respect. As long as you respect me, then everything's mutual, and, you know, we're the best of friends.
Right on. Right.
That's how it should be, you know.
For sure. For sure. Is there something you would do? You would change in the way things are? Like, what is it? I guess what I'm saying is, what is it that you dislike about this?
What do I dislike? You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot. Right now, my main thing is that it's very congested. A lot of drivers. There's no cap of drivers, which means anyone could just come from, you know, I don't mind if you live out of state. It is what it is. We all have to eat. We all have to make a living. But when there's an event getting out and there's 1,000 passengers looking for a ride and there's 4,000 drivers outside, that's when it becomes a little bit of a problem because, you know, I remember there would be times when, let's say like a Celtics game would get out. I could easily in an hour and a half make $150. And it would be like, awesome. I just made $150. That's great. Now I'd be happy to even make $70 in an hour and a half. Or even $50 sometimes, because there's just so many drivers, there's so much traffic, and that's one of the things I don't like. But another thing also is and you know, any other driver would agree with me, and a lot of passengers, is how the companies are taking advantage of us. Every year after year, I've seen the pay go down. Our pay has gone down a lot, and like, you know, I remember we used to make $2 and some change per mile on just doing regular rides.
Oh, an Uber X?
Yes.
Like $2.75.
Like $2.75 a mile, and you would get paid time and distance. And now it's like they give you an upfront price, And you know, if you do UberX, you're getting an $11 ride to the airport from Brighton. When I remember those rides used to be $35,
Right.
and now it's $11. And the passengers, you know, they'll tell you, "Hey, I just got charged $45. What are you making?" And I'm like, "What? $45 and I'm making 11? I don't do those rides because I'm smarter than that. But I wish that other drivers knew that that's not, you know,
Yeah.
you accept those rides and they're gonna keep doing it.
For
You
sure.
take the abuse, they're gonna think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, that's just my opinion, honestly, and I think there's a lot of people that would agree with that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would agree. So now looking back, what would you say your most memorable trip
Most memorable
Job.
Most memorable.
in this business?
Most memorable job. I could honestly, I mean, there's one that I'll never forget. It was one of my best paying jobs, where I took a gentleman from Fenway area. I took him to Foxwoods. This was before the casino was open in Everett.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh yeah," I call him to let him know I'm outside. He's like, "Oh, I'll be there in 1 minute." He's like, "Just a heads up, we're going to Foxwoods. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Man," I'm like, "Take your time. You need 2
Hell
minutes.
yeah.
Take 3 minutes. It's cool." When I heard that, I was like, you know, and that was a black SUV ride, so it was the highest paying tier before they started abusing the fares, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a great ride."
Do you remember how much you paid?
That ride paid $497 for an hour and 45-minute ride.
That's like a little over 3 hours round trip, right?
Yeah, 3 hours
That's
round.
amazing.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, like about 3 hours.
That's a good money.
And it was I remember Sunday night. It was perfect. That ride was beautiful. So it was almost 500. Oh, and to top it off, I didn't tell you this part, but he tipped me $200 in cash,
Wow.
which was amazing. I was like, wow, okay. I mean, apparently he wasn't hurting for money.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a really, really good trip. What future holds for Jason?
What does the future hold for? It depends. I'm thinking, you know, right at the way rideshare is going right now, I'm not so happy with it. I'm not like, you know, I'm not holding my breath that it's gonna get better, unless we as a people have to eventually come together and do something. But that's you know, it's been tried and tested, and you know, it's hard to get people to come together. But you know, like I've been looking at other avenues. You know, been looking at either becoming like an airline pilot or you know something similar. Like I like transportation, I like people, so something in that type of industry looks like you know that's something I'd be interested in if this doesn't work out in the long run.
Sure. Is it like commercial flying or
Yeah.
more? Yeah.
So like commercial, you know, little by little there's a few licenses you get, but like commercial flying, like you know, like American Airlines, Delta, JetBlue, something along that avenue.
Yeah, sounds solid for
You know,
sure.
it pays well, and that's something that's never, you know, there's never going to be a lack of demand of you know, and there's never going to be too many pilots. They're not going to drop our pay because there's too many of us.
For sure.
So you know, I've always been considering that. I think I'm going to give that a shot. We'll see.
Yeah, I think transportation is amazing fit for man. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless if it's a ground transportation or air transportation, it's just a great fit.
Yeah.
Hey, is there anything you'd like riders, Uber and Lyft, and other professional drivers to hear from you? Is there any message you got for them?
Is there any message? No, I just, you know, I want people to just be smart about what they do. Don't do any ride just because you have to pay the bills. Because, you know, I've been there, I've done that. There's been times when I've had to pay bills, and I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna take this ride, even though it's bad. And you know, it doesn't always work out. Like, you know, even if you made the money, but at what cost? You know, you're gonna break your car down for a $5 ride or a $4 ride. And I just want people to, you know, just be yourself when you're driving. Another thing I'll tell you is like to help people out with tips, right? I get a lot of tips on a lot of rides, like sometimes $20, sometimes $40, $15 all the time. You know, if you're just yourself, be yourself, and if you're not very talkative, you know, if the person wants to talk, just, you know, tell them, you know, give them some conversation for a while. It might be an elderly person that has nobody at home. I give them some conversation. They love it. And, you know, we could even talk about simple things like back in the days or whatever. And they love it. And people acknowledge that, and they appreciate the fact that, you know, they feel like you care, even if it's for those 10 minutes that you're driving with them.
Oh yeah, for
People
sure.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, conversations are that really, really help to establish that comfort between the passenger and the
Oh, yeah.
driver, for sure. For sure. Hey, I really appreciate you. You know, you're sharing your story today, and I'm sure we'll meet up soon. It's great to meet you in person, Jason.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you too.
Appreciate you.
Definitely.
Have you seen that video with the Boston driver on Rideshare Guru that claimed that he does over 200,000 a year?
I haven't seen it personally. I've seen the article, like the posting of it, but I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just they made a large interview with the Rideshare Guru's sub channel up in down in California, and he was saying like he went up to like 200 something thousand 1 year, and the lowest he did was about 180 something. And that was like crazy amazing. I mean, you would think, right?
I mean, I don't know how much I believe that, but hey,
Oh yeah,
you know, it's a little tough to make that much. You would have to literally live in your car.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. What do you think about that new settlement between TNCs and Attorney General 3250?
I feel like it's a little misleading. Not a little, it's very misleading. I feel like 3250, a lot of people are gonna look at that. I've even had passengers tell me like, "Oh, you guys are so lucky, you're gonna make 3250," and I'm like, "No, it's not that simple." Very misleading. So I think that's and you know, when you see Uber and like the rideshare companies advertising, 3250, the nation's leading 3250. I saw that recently on TV. I'm like, you know, if they're posting that, then there's something wrong. Because they've never done anything in the history. I've been doing it since 2014. I've never seen them do anything in our benefit.
Right.
And you know that. We've been doing this long enough, you know.
Yes, sir.
They've never done anything that benefits the driver, in my opinion. So 3250 is just, it's absurd. It's misleading.
Yeah, it's just something to, you know, they probably use that metric, they pull it from their records, and they've seen that people do mostly more than 40, and they're like, let us guarantee 3250 to stay on the same thing.
Yeah. And then like another thing I would say, like in New York, I think it's New York, they have like a $28 minimum. That's if you're online, no matter what. You're online, $28 an hour minimum. So everybody thinks that it's similar to that, because you know in New York you have to have part TNC plates.
Right.
In New York City, so that's the only way it works. And I actually know people that work in New York and they get logged out. They're like, there's not enough slots, so they don't let you log in. So it's basically like they cap the number of drivers, something that in Massachusetts that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
And they just want them to keep coming. You know?
Hey, I'm glad you brought up the TLC in New York, because, you know, now with the Attorney General's settlement, there is a chance that we'll be able to, you know, be a part of a union. You know, do you think it's something that would benefit the drivers, or do you think it's something that would hurt them?
You know, honestly, I haven't given much thought to it. I mean, you know, in the group, in our group, we've had certain characters that they're trying to push for a union and this and that, and it seems like it's always been in their best interest, not in the whole group. You know, not in the whole scheme of things. So it's tough. Like, you know, you would have to see the whole details of everything. It all depends. Like, honestly, I would have to see like what how does that benefit me? Because you know we're all out here to make money. We're not out here for fun. Some drivers are retired and they want to do it for fun. I'm not that guy. I'm trying to make money, feed my family, and you know, be able to travel and live my life. You know? So I would have to see. I would have to see the details. The thing about it is the same thing with the companies. They're benefiting. They're milking the fact that a lot of drivers come from like an immigrant background. You just moved here recently. Maybe in your country you made $4 an hour. So if you're making $15 an hour driving, you know, oh my God, that seems amazing. But people don't take into account, you know, the expenses, insurance, your gas, your maintenance. A lot of people, they don't take that into account, and that's kind of what like people are kind of living a dream. Where, you know, then your car breaks down and you don't have even $1 saved up, and you're saying you made $30 an hour, $40 an hour, but where's your money? You don't have anything saved up. So did you really make that much?
Right.
In my opinion, that's, you know.
Oh yeah, a lot of people come because, you know, driving Uber and Lyft is generally a business. It's a small business, but it's a business.
It's a business.
People come with the employment mentality because they think like, you know, whatever I generate stays with me. But the truth is, it's just a part of it that stays with us.
Exactly, 100%.